Welcome in. I'm just getting started here. If you follow the page Rock Painting 101, yesterday you would have watched one of my videos, and at the end of the video we put up a poll to see which one we were going to do next, and the votes were in to do a heart rock along this pattern here. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'm actually going to start from the very beginning here and show you how I like to make my little templates. Now, since I'm not doing this on a base coat rock, if you kind of mess up, then it's hard to fix the outline. So what I do is I take a Post-it note, because then you have that little sticky edge, and you can kind of lay it on your rock. And if you can, you know, eyeball your shape a little bit, but I'm just going to draw for the sake of you guys seeing what I'm doing. Just kind of cover about half your rock and trace on a heart shape, or half a heart shape, I guess you could say. That way you know it's going to fit on your rock, and you can have something to kind of trace along. And we're just going to really quickly cut this out. And doing it on a Post-it note kind of helps, because when you stick it on your rock, it kind of helps hold it in place while you're tracing. Just that little bit of sticky helps keep it in place, just like so. Get that out of here so I don't poke myself with those scissors. And then we're just going to trace along the outside. All right, welcome in everybody joining in. Hi, Kim. All right, so we're just going to go along the edge here with our black marker. And just give us our outline shape of our heart. And right now is Heart Week on the 52 Rocks prompts, and I have to say it's probably one of my favorite weeks so far. I love doing heart rocks. I do them all season long. Obviously they're fun to do in February, but I think they're perfect to make all year round. And they're definitely something that can easily brighten up somebody's day when they find one lying around. So just because it's February, don't give up on the hearts afterwards. So there we go. We have our nice little symmetrical heart to get us started, just like so. Now, to do this rock, I first start with my colored backgrounds. Now, I'm using the same three colors. I'm going to use these same three colors for all four of these hearts on this rock, just because I think it looks nice and cohesive. And can you hear my little one singing in the background? So we're just going to start by doing stripes along the heart. You can do lots of different thicknesses here, so you kind of can go back and forth between sizes. Now, since I'm going directly on the rock, I try to use a nice light touch with the pen. Yesterday I was working on a really rough rock. This one's a little bit better, a little smoother, but I haven't base coated these rocks, so they can be a little bit bumpy, but as long as you use a nice touch, nice soft touch, and kind of on the side of the pen when you're filling in areas, you usually can get away with not getting too much splatter. And I always like to go along the outside edge when we're all said and done anyway. So if you get a little bit along there, that's okay. And we're going to add lines in between the colors. So if you get a little rough in between, that's not going to hurt you too bad either. So we're just going to start alternating between our colors here. And you can use as many colors as you want. This would be really neat to do with a rainbow theme as well. You could use all the different colors of the rainbow on these. Or you could do them with the metallics or the glitter pens. I've heard the glitter pens are on back order again, so I've been trying to hold off on doing glitter pen videos until I can, you know, show them off and you guys can actually get them, because that's a little frustrating to see how beautiful they are and then not actually get to order them. So I was really happy to come back and see the results from doing this poll, because I like that you guys get a say in the rocks that we're working on here. And having those picture polls is kind of new. That was the first time I've ever done one of those on Facebook. See, I got a little splatter there, but we'll be able to fix that pretty easily. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to kind of vote. And if I have time, I will do the other one this week, or maybe sometime in the future. I mean, like I said, I do hearts all year round. The other, I already have one more heart video that I had planned for this week. That's this one. I'll show you. This one right here. I wanted to do this one already. So I was going to do that one for sure. So you can watch for that one later in the week as well. But this is the one that you guys voted on to do for today. So we're gonna have fun with it. And I had to do my taxes this morning. So I don't know about you, but after doing something very blah like that, coming home and having the results of the poll of a rock that I get to jump on and paint was kind of like a shining moment in my day. So I don't know how many of y'all have gotten your taxes done already, but it's kind of a boring thing to do. And I'm glad I have it over with, but it's nice to be doing something like this instead with my afternoon. So we're just gonna keep going back and forth. And like I said, play around with the thicknesses, because the different thicknesses, you can do different line weights and things like that as you go along. And sorry, I forgot to refresh my computer here. I try to remember to do that. I'm seeing some comments go by. So let me refresh y'all, and then I will sneak in there and see if there's any questions. I see some things popping up, but I think I posted a long time ago the setup that I kind of have, and my phone's up over my head, but I try to do it so that I can actually see how I'm painting, so I can't see the comments on my phone very well, but I got my computer to the side here, and that helps me. As soon as I'm done with this purple, I'll kind of glance over here and see what y'all are talking about here. Then we'll switch back to pink. Okay. Hello, Tina. There's a trick to getting your paint so even with the pens. If you're seeing a lot of line marks, Cindy, you possibly haven't shaken your pen well enough. If you specifically certain colors. Now pink, as you can see, pink you can kind of isn't quite as thick to me. The lighter colors aren't nearly as thick. I usually will do 2 coats of pink if I don't have a base coat. Now, if I have a base coat of white or black on my rock, the pink it adheres a little bit better. I don't know if it's because the rock absorbs a little bit of the paint, but I try to use the side of my pen as well to place the paint down. So I don't know if that kind of helps, but if you're seeing a lot of lines, that means you're not really flowing, or maybe you don't have this brand of pen. I know other pens don't cover quite as well. I've had a few other brands in the past. None of them really work quite as well as these paint pens, these Poscas. A lot of them have different kinds of paints. The ones I had before I bought, they were more of an oil-based paint, so they didn't really spread the same. These are water-based, so they're actually liquidy when they come out. I mean, you can kind of see the shine. There's actually a liquid to them. So it's a little bit different than what maybe you're working with. Ashley, I believe is what, computer. There's glitter Posca pens. I don't have a single glitter rock by me right now. I'll have to show you, or if you, after you're done watching this video, or you can sneak off and come back. I've done a few videos using the glitter paint pens. They're the same brand. The profile picture that I have is actually one that I created with them. They have a very pretty glittery shimmer to them when they're done, and they're so fun to work with. We did a sunset rock with them as well. And I think there was one other, I think one of the earlier dangle rocks that we did, I did with them. They're really fun, but they are, last I saw, were on back order. And Cindy, I'm trying to read your comment. Thanks for tips. You're welcome. I am using the same pens as you said, and it's a lighter color. Yeah. So if it's extra streaky, put the lid back on and shake it up more. I know the metallics, especially, I feel like I have to shake those a little bit longer. If they ever seem kind of watery, usually you just need to shake them up. Just give them more a shake, or give them to one of your kids and tell them to shake it up. That's how I discovered with my metallics. When I first got, I have silver and gold and metallic. The first few times I used them, I was almost a little disappointed. They seemed kind of watery. And I gave it to my daughter, and you know, she wanted to help, so I let her shake it up, and I started using it, and I was like, oh, it actually looked a lot better. So I think those, I don't know why that is, but seemed to make a big difference. So ever since I've shooken those a little bit more, and they seem to work better. Okay, do one more skinny. And there's no rhyme or reason to how I'm making these stripes, and it's not going to matter as far as how we're going to complete this rock. It's just going back and forth with different line weights just to give it an interesting look, I guess. So we're going to do blue, and then we'll end with a little bit of purple over here on the corner. And I try to keep them relatively at the same angle so they're even thickness from the top to the bottom of the heart. And you can just kind of, I mean, I'm just eyeballing it. If you get to the bottom and it looks a lot thicker than the top, then, you know, add some to the other side, you know, along to the top to even it out. See, like this looks thicker at the bottom, so we're just gonna add a little bit more here at the top. You know, don't get carried away or your whole rock will end up the exact same color. There we go. And we got purple last here. And then we'll move on to our black. And as you'll notice, we'll be able to go right into our black because these pens dry really fast. Okay, I had this spot over here where we got a little pink. You can kind of peek around and see if there's any spots. Once it's dry, sometimes you can see little indents in the rock where maybe the paint didn't quite collect. Just add a little bit more in there. I think it looks pretty good. And again, the lines in between isn't such a big deal because we're going to put black in there anyways. Pardon me, I got a glass of water here. It seems like we can never get healthy here in our house. One kid to the next kid, to me, back to my husband again. Everybody's fighting colds around here. All right, so we're gonna go in here now and we're just gonna start blocking out our stripes with our black first. And I've discussed this before. I try to follow the same line. Now, obviously I don't wanna put my hand right on top of where I painted, so we're gonna turn our rock around so we're not putting our hand down on our wet paint. But once you get in a rhythm of drawing your lines in the same direction, I always suggest to continue going down. Don't try to go up, 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 and then down, down, down. Just find a rhythm. And whether you do long, solid straight lines or short, little, almost dashes and pull them together. The way I do it kind of depends on the surface of the rock. A really smooth rock, sometimes I'll try to do one continuous straight line, but most of the time when I haven't done a base coat, I kind of do these tiny little almost hash lines together until I make it all the way across. But I find if I'm working in the same direction constantly or consistently, you'll get in a nice little rhythm. You usually do a better job. And obviously take your time when you're doing your lines. Mommy. I'm working a little faster. Yes, baby girl. Working a little faster. Well, keep working on it. She's playing Play-Doh. See, my daughter is always doing something in the background normally when I'm painting my rocks. That's okay, sweetie. Look in the basket. She wants farm animals to do with her Play-Doh. We'll see if she can figure it. All right, these ones are a little closer together. But like I was saying, take your time on your lines. I'm always going a little bit faster on lives than I would be if I was painting just for leisure, because I try not to keep you guys on here for too long when I'm doing my rocks. But there we go. Okay, we've got our basic lines. Oh my gosh, I hope I wasn't off the screen that whole time. Here we got our basic lines. I'm sure you could kind of get the gist of what I was doing. You can clean up your edges a little bit if you want to now, but I usually do that at the end. Now we're going to start making our patterns across. Now the super skinny lines, those ones can be a little bit tricky to do anything really extreme on. You can leave a couple of them with nothing on them if you'd like to. I think I'm going to leave the pink one solid, but I'm just going to go right in and do my skinny lines first, like polka dots, just little dots all the way down. Work really well in these thin ones. because there's not a lot of, line work that you have to fit in there. So that's a good one to fit right down the middle of that. And now I have this one off this edge is a little bit thinner too. Doing just perpendicular lines to the stripes works really well for this as well. So we're just gonna go almost like, you would be making a T like that. You could color in some of those if you wanted to as well. Okay, another fun one I really enjoyed doing is to do a pattern. It's 3 lines in one direction, and then you take and you do 3 lines in the other direction. Oh, I've got a FedEx guy outside. 1, 2, 3, this way. 3 this way. We're just going to continue that pattern all the way down. There we go. One more in here, like so. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm doing horrible staying in my frame today. I think you got to see most of that. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so there's that pattern that we like to do a lot. You can do zigzags as well, which is always kind of fun. Now I like to try to spread out the line style things. So we got the stripes here, these ones here. So if we're going to do a zigzag, we can kind of do that maybe in this blue all the way over here so that we have them spread out a little bit. And to kind of do the thicker one, I start by doing my triangles opposite of each other, and it will create the zigzag inside of them, just like that. And we'll add a couple of, one more, maybe one little bit would stick out there, like so. And you could color that in if you wanted to. Another design that we could do in here, we could do little scalloped type edges. We'll do that in this blue one here, where you just basically do arches like that. And the same thing that I was talking about when you did your stripes. Try to keep the same motion. I wouldn't go from left to right and then all of a sudden try to go right to left. You're more likely to keep the same distance if you keep the same movement with your pen. And for this one, I almost want to do, this is kind of a thicker one, so let's do stripes this way and almost do we're going to do a ladder inside on this one. So we're going to do a stripe here, like so, and then we're going to cross this, almost create a little ladder inside that one. Or a chain, it kind of looks like a chain, I guess, as well. And let's do our little loops. So the way that I like to do this style of loop is I always start at the bottom and I always go down to the base. And it's almost like you're doing half of a heart. So let me see if I can get in here and stay in frame with you guys with this one. So you do an extra curly kind of half of a heart, just like that. Now you would go just above and like you were doing the other side, extra curly half a heart, and just have it land on the top of the previous one. You're just going to go back and forth until you make it to the top. Just like so. Okay. And let's see, we'll do one. I kind of want to leave a couple solids in here, but I think I need to do something in this. So let's just do kind of an X pattern. It kind of will create a diamond in the middle. So for that, I'm going to turn my rock this way, and we're going to start by just making some wide X's, and it will create diamonds in the middle. Just keep going back and forth And sorry if this makes you dizzy, me twisting it back and forth like this, but like I told you, I like to keep with the same angle when I'm drawing. Helps me kind of keep it consistent. And like I said before, don't rush through these. I just don't want to keep you on here forever. So once you've got all the designs inside the different shapes and lines that you want to use, go ahead along the outside edge one more time. Cindy, you asked if I'm using the medium. These are actually the extra fine point. They kind of have a pointier tip to them at the top. I do have them linked in the post above. If you want to check, you can kind of compare tips if you've got medium. The mediums are quite a bit bigger than these. And I'll compare them to you in just a second here once I do my outside edge. Now again, for the outside edge, I kind of keep my tip slanted to the side, and that gives it an actual thicker line, and it helps you from having the paint possibly kind of splatter when it hits little bumps in your rocks. So I'm just cleaning up areas along the edge where I feel like it needs a little touch up. Like so. There's that. And here, I'll show you the difference. See, the medium is quite a bit bigger. This is considered a 1M, and this is a medium one, Cindy. See how much bigger that is? So there's 1M is the extra fine. Here, I'll show you even. This one's the 3M. This is considered fine tip, and then the medium is 5M. So that's quite a bit bigger. So it makes a pretty big difference. So I use the extra fine tips the most, the 1Ms, just because you can kind of get a lot more detail in your work with them. So we're going to call this one good. See, we kind of match. They match, not exactly the same. None of them will ever be exactly the same, but if you do this rock, please leave it in the comments below. Like I said, tomorrow or Friday, we'll join back on and we'll do this heart here for 52 rocks. If we have time later in the week, I'll try to do this one. If we don't get to this one this week, I'll still get on at some point in time and do it. The one right here, kind of a mosaic style. We'll get there eventually. So until then, we'll see you all soon. You guys keep leaving the questions and comments below. I do get through them and read them all. Thanks for joining in again. And don't forget to follow the page Rock Painting 101 for more live videos. Have a great day, everybody.